All right, turn it over to you, Coach.
Good morning. Good to see everybody. Obviously, it's been quite a grind to get to the last conference game of the year. It's been a rewarding, very rewarding trip through all the COVID navigations and everything else, and to get an unbelievable opponent in Ohio State, and coming off the Michigan game, I thought we did some very positive things. I thought our grit, our intensity, our attention to detail was really good, and I liked watching that. That's comforting as a coach. We can talk all we want about the offensive side, but the defense was really solid. We did a great job on the glass, and then opportunistic on the offensive end, and executed fairly well for the most part. Obviously, getting an Ohio State team who's extremely well coached. They're one of the best offensive teams in the country. They've got a uniqueness about them with EJ Liddell. Being able to step out and make threes, being able to drive it, not necessarily a low post oriented team, but a team that is shoots the three. I think they're third in the Big Ten in 3-point shooting, and they do it from all spots. And as I said, the first time around with them, I think Washington is one of the most underrated players in our league. I still believe that. He's had a phenomenal year. They've got a great shooter in Arns, and then they've got guys Suing and Walker who just elevate everybody else's game. So this is a terrific basketball team. We'll have to play very, very well, and another great challenge for us.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned EJ. He's had success against you guys the two times that he's gone against you. What do you feel like you have to do better to make it more difficult on him?
Just do that. Make things more difficult on him. We got a challenge. We've got to, he's a good player. He's a really talented kid. He's going to score, 16 to 20 because of his talent. And, we just can't give him the easy baskets. He made 4 threes in the first game against us. And we got to do a better job of contesting that. But again, they do a good job of putting him in actions where he has the ability to pop, and you can't give him the easy stuff on offensive rebounds and those. We've got to make those really hard for him.
I don't know if you saw Kendall Gill putting on the Illinois jersey in the Bulls pregame. It seems like some of these alums are coming out and showing a lot of pride, whether it's him, Darren Williams on Instagram, Eddie Johnson. How much have you seen of that? And if any, what does that mean to you?
Well, now you're making me look really, really bad. Because I haven't seen any of that. I have not even opened a social media account since September. So, my information comes from you guys and my staff, but, that's what it should be. That's what this should be. That makes me feel good. We want former players to always feel like they can call this home and be proud of it, and go to the water cooler or the coffee shop or the bar or wherever they go, and the golf course, and be proud to be able to talk about their school and their program, and that's what this thing is all about, and that's pretty special to know. Thanks for making me look bad. Thanks for making me look bad, bud.
My bad. Thanks.
Hey, Brad. Obviously 3 games without Io, but you guys have done extremely well. What have been your biggest takeaway from the last 3 games playing without the best player in America?
I mean, it takes a certain personality player to be able to step into an alpha role or roles and different roles. Not everybody can be Batman, and that's really hard to do. We've had guys who've done that and been able to make that step and not fear the moment, not fear the shot, not fear the free throws, not fear the step back jumper, DeMonte Williams, not fear going to the free throw line at the end of a game, and Andre Curbelo, not fear All the ball screen stuff that we ran against Michigan, Trent Frazier. You got to have a personality that allows you to do that, not just the ability. And that's what I enjoyed seeing.
And one more from me, Coach. Io was the first guy off the bench. He's been high-fiving. He's been still working out. What can you say about his leadership standpoint, even being out, but still leading this team at a high level?
Good players make themselves better. Great players make their teammates better. And in whatever form that comes. And, his presence wasn't on the court, but his presence was felt in the locker room, at practice, on the bench, his knowledge. That's what great players do.
Thanks, Brett.
No more questions.
Coach, what is the update on Io, and will there be a adjustment when he gets back on the court? Will there be a little bump adjusting back to him?
Day to day, that's I've said it many times. I mean, there's no reaction. I've not seen him yet today. To know when you go through the protocols, there's certain various, I don't know how many steps. But you can't rush those. You don't question those. You just move forward. So we'll see what reaction is gone, and how he handles those individual steps. But I don't know why. I don't know why we would think we would have a hiccup. I mean, I think anytime you have the ability to insert the best player in college basketball back in, and know that we made ourselves better in some areas because we found out some other options that we really like and are pretty good. I'm pretty excited about that.
You mentioned the grueling regular season. Did you feel more exhausted than usual? Do you feel like it's a normal end of the regular season, or do you feel more exhausted, more spent than usual? You think your team?
It's normal. It has been for me. I mean, it's the players love playing. I mean, I think they're in a pretty good place. I think it's I think if you ask every coach in this league, they'll tell you that they're ready for it to be over. It gets to be a grind in this league, and it's the best league in the country, and there's just no easy ones. So it is what it is, and we're excited, and it's March, and hopefully it's a long March.
Thank you.
Hey, Brad. With all the success you've had this season, I'm just wondering, I know you guys don't really look ahead or anything, but do you ever just pause to kind of consider the specialness in some of these moments that, will be memories that you guys look back on likely for a long time?
Not yet. We have a great appreciation. I mean, Michigan was good. Wisconsin's, is a ranked team. I think every game has their own identity and maybe their own value. To look back at the collective season, no, I don't. I haven't done that yet. We'll do that at some other point down the road, on a beach, and cigar and whatever, when it's properly time to reflect. Now we don't have time to waste doing that.
Right on. I've noticed you guys in some of the celebrations you've done, it looks like somebody's grabbing somebody by the back of the shirt like this. And I've seen Curbelo do it a couple times. I just wanted to ask, what that is, if you know.
No clue.
Okay.
With Curbelo, it could be the widest spectrum of something ever. Who knows? I mean, the one thing we have is charisma. So you'll have to ask them. It's probably something they make fun of me about, which is a lot. So who knows?
Yeah, I'll ask Andre about it. Thanks, Coach.
Hey, Brad, there was a moment against Michigan, Trent shooting his technical free throws, and the other four guys are kind of arm in arm there on the other end of the court. What does that mean to you to see, and what is it about that team that's able to pull that connectivity together?
That picture will last a long time. And that's one that won't be easily forgotten. To me, if you guys understand anything about me, that's our culture right there. That's our culture. And then to have Andre Curbelo jump in your lap, that's our culture. And those are moments that you strive for as a coach. The scoreboard can say a lot of things, but that's Illinois basketball right there. That's what I want it to be.
How is that cultivated? Like Georgie's a guy who we always see him with his arm around each other. Feels like he's probably got a pretty big hand in some of this, but how is that cultivated for every guy on that bench?
It's character. You know, when you guys hear me say character over characters, that's it. You recruit character people. You recruit winners. You recruit people who are unselfish, who have a willingness to want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. And you know, that doesn't come easy with 18-year-olds. If you guys will remember when you were that age, you were pretty stubborn. You thought you had all the answers. But if you got high character people, you've got a chance, and you've got to nurture that. You've got to fight it. You've got to love it. You've got to, and that's, to me, it's that picture will live well beyond that moment.
Real quick, if I could, is that a framed one for the office at some point, or?
Framed them, and when this new building's built, that's going to be a gosh darn wall. You know, that's not going to be a picture. That's going to be a wall in the new building.
Thank you, Brad.
Hey,
I'm
Brad.
proud of myself, by the way, Joey. I didn't swear there. I was getting ready to say, I'm trying hard not to cuss.
Hey,
Same.
Brad. Hey, Brad. With the Ohio State game on Saturday, you guys will play 20 Big Ten games. Was there ever a doubt in your mind during the season, you know, maybe when you had that 10-day pause in January, that you guys would get to that point?
No, I think the league is, you know, we built these in. We've talked about this since July. You know, I think there was all different forms and possibilities out there. You know, I think it hasn't been easy, but nothing about this year has been easy, Brandon. I think that it's been a challenge. For me, it was about playing. It was about playing as many games so our guys felt as fulfilled about having a season as possible. And we knew that there would be hiccups. But you know, I think the league has put a plan together that was very workable. We did a great job with the officials, putting them in a bubble. And I think that, you know, overall, were there hiccups and situations? Yes, but that was to be expected. So I'm just glad we're in a position to play 20 games.
And then the Big Ten actually finished second best in all conferences in terms of completing games. What does that say about the league?
Yeah, kudos to the league office and putting a plan together that worked and that was safe. And I don't think we ever you know, ventured from what our plan was, and that was to do it safely and in the best way possible. And the everyday testing was fabulous and a pain in the butt at times, but you know, it's one of those things that was you know, it was mandatory. Everybody went through it, and I thought overall, you know, a great job by everybody involved.
Thanks, Brad.
Hey, Brad, you mentioned Tuesday night that, you know, a positive of sorts with Iowa was you just got more comfortable with guys in different roles. But did you see your players get a little more comfortable, confident as they all kind of shifted roles a little bit and maybe elevated their games across the board?
Sure. There's no doubt you get confidence when you have success and doing something that you maybe haven't had to do or been asked to do. And you know, I don't think there was any doubt about that. And again, it's more the mental piece, and it's the you know, I use the word alpha all the time, but it's one of those things that not everybody can be that guy. Not everybody has the game to do that, and nor does anybody have the mental capacity to do that. And when you do it and you're asked to do it, you gain confidence. So there are a lot of positives in that.
And I can ask you before the last game, sort of about the time frame of when you got hired. So kind of where the program's at now, but regardless of that process, just has the culture you've been able to build plus the success, was this your vision in March 2017, when you took the job, or when you interviewed for the job?
Yeah, I don't know what the timetable was. This is a great job. And this is a place that you can have the ability to have success and win championships. And I believe that. And if I didn't believe that, I wouldn't have come. And I believe that in the bottom of my heart. And it goes well beyond me. It's Josh, it's administrative support. It's a great staff. I don't know what the timetable was, Scott, but yeah, I wouldn't have come here if I didn't believe this, and I still do it. And I still think it's one of those jobs that you can do this and be successful at it for more often than not.
Thank you.
Hey, Brad, we're coming up on a year that the season stopped, and I'm just wondering, how has this last year kind of impacted or changed you and maybe your perspective?
A lot. There's no doubt, a lot. Most of it starts on the personal side for me, going from 3 chins to 1, kind of a lifestyle change in that way. I spending more time with my family, which has been refreshing. How I coach has evolved and changed because I couldn't plan anything, and it was agonizing throughout the summer, to be honest. You want to spend time and you don't know what your team is, but I think that it's been great for our players. They've developed great relationships. I think our staff has continued to grow. So I think it's been a challenging and hard year, but I think it's also been one of great growth, and that's been personally and professionally.
You mentioned you have to change your way. Is it just being more patient or less controlling? And what does all this mean now as you guys are preparing for what you hoped to do last year?
Well, I'm not very patient. I mean, it's one of my huge character flaws. And I mean, it's personality traits is I'm not, and I've become that. I'm very, very trusting of our staff. I mean, that's one of the things that I never have to worry about. I've got great people around me, and they're all very, very competent at what they do, and it's just me letting them do it, and then overseeing and managing it. So that part has never been an issue. But I think you want to know what's coming. You want to be able to plan something, and that hasn't been the case this year. But we're we've tried to make Ubben a really, really fun and cool place to be. We've had to think of different things that we've never thought of, from using the tables to, as lockers and not being in our locker room, and how do guys shower and I mean, it's just, you name it. And it's just been one thing after another that has forced you to think about a lot of things that you don't. And that's okay. That's okay. It's been good.
Thanks, Brad.
Brad, I heard you on Scott Van Pelt last night just talking about celebrating things more. Is that something similar to what Jeremy's asking? Like, you've learned over time? Do you cherish things a little bit more now than maybe you did before?
I think it's to answer your question directly, yes, but it's also a big part of the process. And winning is when you haven't done it, and we haven't at a level that we are. And even with Trent and DeMonte going through the whole process, and Tyler and Zach, probably Tyler's the only one that's seen real success, and those celebratory locker rooms. And I didn't want it to be like, okay, we're just supposed to do that. No, it's hard. You paid a price, especially this year. And how can we make it fun? And how can we continue the process? And so it's been just kind of a natural thing that's happened, but it's been planned, and we've got to keep celebrating those triumphs as they come.
Thanks.
Hey, Brad, if I could get one quick follow-up. You said you're off social media and, you guys are in such a bubble. Obviously, there's a lot of excitement around what you guys are doing. How do you personally feel that, given you don't see a lot of different people during the course of a season?
It's absolutely fantastic for me. I mean, it is freaking great. Like I said, I mean, the first time I felt it, to be very honest, was last night when I came out of practice and there was a group of people sitting in the parking lot with a bunch of autograph paraphernalia wanting a sign. And I'm like, whoa, stop. You can't come near me. And you guys laugh and you guys think I'm kidding. I have not talked to anybody face to face who's not in everyday testing, other than that's in a Big Ten, deal. I just don't. I haven't been, get after me for not supporting the restaurants and whatever. I just haven't done that. I haven't. It's been my way of doing it, and I want to lead by example, and so I haven't felt that. And like I said, Pipe made me look bad earlier by saying all these guys are wearing jerseys. I don't know that, and that's disappointing from a certain sense, but it's also been okay.
Thanks, Brad.
Hey, Brad, was it the first Ohio State game that made you realize you need to get Jacob Grandison more involved, put him in the starting lineup?
Yeah, that was part of it. I think we'd been not great in some areas up to that point, but in watching that game, we were a little discombobulated. There's no doubt, and that's not to take anything away from them. They punched us in the mouth. First 15 minutes was as bad as we've played, and they were great. So, and they did that without Walker in their game. So, that's it's a heck of it. Ohio State's good, and at that game we knew we were still searching for some things.
Thanks.
Coach, if I could ask one more on Io, you mentioned that Tuesday's shoot around was maybe the first time he had gotten to do any basketball activities. Curious what he's been able to do here in recent days.
Try to get back into shape for one on Wednesday because our team was off. And he went through an individual workout. And then yesterday there was some participation in practice. So we monitored that very closely, but and then we'll see what today brings.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Brad.
Thanks, Brad.